Welcome back, everybody. Sheepdog Smokey here. I hope you've had a productive start to your week. Two things caught me today, opposite ends of the spectrum, really. First, we have Dr. Anthony Cardillo, an ER specialist and the CEO of an urgent care group in Los Angeles, reporting that very ill patients go to symptom-free in 8 to 12 hours with hydroxychloroquine and zinc. This is the same medicine, hydroxychloroquine, that, the idiots at NBC are saying is wrong, that Maxine Water is screaming on Twitter for people to deny. Don't take it. They ignore that the person who died took chloroquine phosphate, an aquarium cleaner. But before we get into all of it, please remember to like and subscribe. Subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're aware of all content and part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. So let's move on in. We have Dr. Cardillo, who is basically saying, as a doctor treating COVID-19 patients, that using hydroxychloroquine and zinc is seeing patients recover pretty rapidly. This is basically the same thing that we've seen with other doctors reporting it, that yes, it is a malaria drug. Okay, how do you think it became the accepted, approved treatment for malaria? Someone tried it. It was unproven at one point. But then it proved itself to be very, very effective against malaria. If you look at the malaria belt, where this has been almost used as prophylactic against malaria, the infection rate for COVID-19 is way less than it is in areas that are not prone to malaria. These are the things that doctors have looked at. I guarantee it. Doctors in New York, Los Angeles, probably Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago, perhaps Seattle as well, your major international arrival points, especially those where you get travel from the African continent or the Middle East, where malaria is more common. That may not be malaria. My geography's off. But anywhere that sees travel from international is going to see people come in from areas that are prone to certain medical conditions. And I can almost guarantee you, someone somewhere said, let's look at areas where respiratory infections and viruses are common, and let's see what they've been doing for those for years, and let's see how they're being affected by COVID-19. If you see an area like the malaria belt, where COVID-19 cases are very, very low, you're going to naturally have mental connections that form. You're going to say, well, they're treating for malaria, and they're treating to prevent malaria. What are they using to treat for and to prevent malaria, and might it work against COVID-19? This is what doctors who research do. They ask these questions. They then investigate and research and think and question more. And we have politicians who have been in office 3 decades or longer, passing 3 bills with their name on it, ordering you to deny a drug that doctors are saying is working. It's almost like they want people to die. It's almost like they need a high death toll so that they can then blame President Trump because people obeyed them and denied treatment. Another point that was brought up is that initially, whether this was an engineered virus or something that happened in bats, the consensus is still that it spread from bat to human initially. But now there has apparently been a case of a tiger in a New York zoo, I believe, or it was in a zoo, that has tested positive for coronavirus. They can get a test for a tiger, but they can't test people. But that begs the question, what if this jumps to poultry or bovines, porcines, basically livestock that are a major part of our food supply? Okay, I'll admit I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could grow enough stuff to eat, not have eggs or milk or cheese or meat products. I could grow enough food to feed myself and my family. I don't want to, Because when that happens, the shortage will be so quick to happen. You know, it'll be like mad cow, where stores are throwing out beef because they don't know if it was infected, and you can't get more, and so on. So the shortage will be so fast that anyone growing will be a target, and so on and so forth. And that is worrying, because that's when basically societal breakdown is to the point where you have to walk around in fear for your life 24/7. Can't even lock your door and feel safe. But as if that wasn't enough, there's actually a bit of a more worrying story that I had seen, where a gentleman in St. Louis, who is apparently a chairman of the Fed in some way, wants people to have to get tested for coronavirus and then wear a publicly displayed badge saying if you were tested positive or negative. There's not too many of them around, but ask a Holocaust survivor what they feel about that. Ask them about having to wear a badge and be possibly shunned because of it. Who's to say that you won't be rounded up if your badge displays a positive test? We've already had at least one person high up with the WHO has said that they reserve the right to actually go into people's homes anywhere in the world and take people. I've said it before. I will say it again, and I will say it until the day I die. I will die on my feet rather than live on my knees. Someone comes into my home unlawfully, which means it is not a police officer for the city I live in, a county sheriff for the county I live in, or a DPS worker for my state, or a federal law enforcement agent with a valid warrant. Because I'm not going to be the person that they're looking for anything outside of having a warrant. I will defend myself. And millions of people believe just the way I do. Now, if an international force is sent to the U.S., that's an act of war. Okay? President Trump has called this a war on the coronavirus. We had the war on drugs. We had the war on poverty. We had all those other things. Okay? It does not mean that there has been an actual war declared. There's not been a war declared since, I believe, not since Korea. Okay, I know that the Falkland Islands was just us aiding an ally. Vietnam was not a war, it was a police action. I don't believe that Desert Storm, Desert Shield, or Operation Iraqi Freedom was declared as a war. Congress doesn't want to declare war because that would give the president immense power. And they wouldn't be able to then do all the things they're doing to try to unseat the president, because if they declare war, then a wartime commander-in-chief is a very powerful figure. But if an international force, WHO, UN, Chinese, English, Russian, Australian, doesn't matter, if they enter our country intending hostile action on our citizens, that is an act of war. And that will not be a good thing for the planet, because it will only escalate exponentially until it is so horrific that probably we'll see a 50% death toll on both sides, because it will just be open guerrilla warfare. I know plenty of people who have served in the military. I've talked to people who serve now. They all believe that their oath is to the Constitution, not to Congress, not to the President. I wonder how they would feel about an international force coming into the country, storming into Americans' homes to seize those people and take them God only knows where. It won't end well for either side in that scenario. And I really hope whoever said it is not serious. Just like I hope this idiot who said that people should be tested for coronavirus and then be made to publicly display a badge that signifies their test results. I know Bill Gates is serious about wanting to tag us like livestock with a digital certificate to say if we've had COVID-19, if we've recovered or not. I won't comply with either of those. I know my family won't either. I know most of my friends won't. And the day that order is given by the government, either one, is the day, as I've said in many other scenarios, this country fractures. Because the military, by and large, will walk off their post because they will say, well, the Constitution has been declared null and void, so our oath is null and void. Our oath is now to defend the people against tyranny. I don't know. I've talked long enough on this. Let me know what your thoughts are. As always, remain civil. I have encountered people on this channel and off who are not civil, who resort to base, childish insults and arguing and other idiotic things. They get blocked really quick. A block on Twitter just means you can't see me. A block on YouTube is basically the same. You can't see my channel. You can't comment on it. And I can't see you. Because when you resort to that, you prove you're not someone worthy of my time, not even worthy of pity from me. We are adults. We can act like it, or at least we should be able to. We should be able to converse civilly whether we agree or not. Operative word, should. As always, please remember to like the video and give it a share so that we expand the conversation. Also, please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're among the first to know of all new content as it posts, and so you're part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy, stay home for now, and have a wonderful day.